Hi guys, today I'm going to share with you how to use S&P 500 for your retirement. Okay, by just buying the S&P 500, you can actually have a big amount that for your retirement life. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, we'll look at the last 93 years of the S&P 500 data. This is from 1927 to 2019. 2020 is still not yet finished, but currently we are down about 25%. But not to worries, as historically we have down about 32%, 44%, even 50% before. Okay, but in these 93 years from 1927 to 2019, we total have about 25 bear years and 68 bull years. This conclude there is a 27% of the bear and 73% of the bull. So every year there is actually a 73% that you end up with a profit if you are just buying S&P 500. So the average of this 93 years is about 12.16%. So imagine that you are just buying the S&P, then every year the return is about 12.16%. This is a really fantastic result. Okay, so with this data we have come out a few scenarios that how can you retire peacefully by just buying the S&P start from now. Okay, so we assume that you can save $10 a day and then $300 a month to invest in S&P 500. This will be around $3,600 per year. Okay, scenario number one. So as just now we mentioned, there is 12.16% average in the last 93 years. So we assume that you can get 12.16% in the next 30 years. So from here we can see there is the end of the result, right? You will have about $850,000. So this is also equal to 741% profit. So with this 850,000, I believe that you can retire very peacefully. This scenario is a bit unlikely to be happen because you cannot assume that every year will be the positive. You can get every year is 12.16% yearly. This is possible but very unlikely. So with this one we come out another scenario, which is scenario 2. Okay, as just how we mentioned, in the last 93 years we have about 25 is a bear years, so it also equal to a 27%. So assume that 30 years times 27% equal to about 8 years. So you will have the 8 years is a bear years, it is a negative result. So in the 30 years, if you have the 8 years is a bear, so you will have 22 is a bull years. So the 8 years of the bear, how many percent that you might get in your negative? So we'll take this one as a we'll use the 25 bear years of the last 93 years to take the average. The average of the 25 bear years in the last 93 years is about 13.4%. So this will be our percentage for the bear. So we will continue to use the 12.16% as an average percentage for our bull years. So with this one, you can conclude there is about 236,000, which is also equal to 119% profit after 30 years. Imagine that now you are 30 years old, then you start to buy the S&P 500 year on year with this result, then you end up with 236,000. I believe that this amount can also for your retirement is also much better than all those that the endowment plan that you can buy or the saving that you save in your fixed deposit. This is fantastic for you. Of course, every year you will never get the same as 12.16%. Some of the year you will get more, as you can see from the data. You see, some of the year you can get 21%, 23%, 19%, 55%. Some of the year you can even get 33%. Last year alone you can get 31%. So we use a 12.16% is actually a very low, the very conservative to in our scenario for your retirement. Okay, some people may say that sometimes there is a financial crisis. Cannot be every time I meet the bear is only 13.4%. Sometimes may more than 13.4%. Sometimes may have 30%, 40%, even 50% down. So with this one, we come out the scenario number 3. So as the same as scenario number 2, we have about 27% is a bear, and we have about 8 years. And then with this one, we have 8 bear years and 22 bull years. So sometimes we have make the financial crisis, you are really suay, you are really unlucky. So we take the most negative years in the last 93 years to be the 8 years. The most bear years, the percentage down is about 44%, 37%, 32%. So we use this 8 figure to plug into 8 of our bear years. Then we continuously using 12.16% as our bull. 12.16% is a very conservative way to count. Of course, the actual amount most of the time will be higher than 12.12%. So we even with this scenario, you can also end out with 131,000. So this is if it's equal to 22% of the profit. So with this amount, you can also retire peacefully in Singapore. So with the above 3 scenario, I believe that you are just buying the S&P 500, you everyday save $10, $300 a month, 3,600 a year. You are just buying S&P, then you can get this amount. Okay, some people may say that, what if I make more than 8 years is a bear? So what happened? Maybe in the 30 years, I can have about 10 years is a bear one. So with this one, we're trying to get another figure is we try to get all the 30 years in the last 93 years. You can see from 1927 to 1956, you can have about average every year is 11.62%. Imagine this one is it can equal to about 330%. So sometimes you have the even better result. You can see there is 15% from if you start to buy in 1931 to 1960. Every year's 15% is a fantastic result. Even there is the most lesser result will be 10.85%. If you are buying from 1958 to 1987. So but with this 10%, 10.85%, 30 years you also equal to about 300% return. So it's really better than you put in the fixed deposit. It's better than you put in those endowment plan or whatever plan. Okay, from here we can see that you are just buying S&P 500 for the next 30 years. Then it's very likely that you will be end out with at least 100% profit. Imagine that you are 3,600 a year, so you have about 30 years is about 108,000. 108,000, then you times 100% is about 200,000. Is you can retire peacefully in I think maybe in Singapore or whatever country that you like to retire. So here we conclude that this video is very good that for you who, if you don't know how to invest, just buy S&P 500, then you will be end up with a profitable. So thank you very much. See ya.